right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back live here on Score 58 Network, trying to work out technical issues. That's what scrimmages are for, to figure out if we have any technical issues before the season starts. So normally we don't, but Salem is definitely an interesting bird and location of where they're at. They are at halftime, coming out of the halftime. Glad to have everybody with us here. We've started back. Here with the broadcast. Adam, how you doing? Just checking back in with you, making sure your mic works fine.
Yeah, I'm good, man.
All right, man. It's one of those ones. I kind of take a deep breath. If you were to sit there and tell me from a game's perspective, what's the game summary so far? And with being polite, let's use the word polite.
Speed kills.
Okay. Aggressiveness, speed, what else?
You can see a definite difference in the experience of the two teams. I think we know that Coach Laws graduated a lot of seniors last year, and that's always tough when you have a senior-heavy roster.
Right.
The next year is typically a tougher one. And just the overall team speed of Newton and the aggressiveness of the defense, and that can come back to bite you sometimes. But
it can,
but I'll take my chances. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, last year and we'll just talk a little bit about Salem right here, and we'll spend some time. Salem went 7-5 overall. They went 6-1 in their region. They ended up taking a loss in the first round of the playoffs.
Who'd they drop to?
Columbus. It was one heck of a game. It was 35-32. It was one of those ones that just makes you shake your head, and you definitely wanted to see it go a little bit further. In that situation, might have been Westover, not Columbus. Sorry, I'm paying attention on what I'm reading across the board. But it was definitely an interesting outcome from a senior's perspective when we look at their standings and who is in Salem's region. Salem has Eastside. They have Woodward Academy, Henry County, Hampton, Luella, North Clayton, and Druid Hills. So it's definitely a very interesting. The East Side, always prominent.
It's a top-heavy region.
It is. And when you get East Side, Woodward, and then you go, okay, who else is going to go on the shuffle at this point? And then is it going to be Salem? And last year, East Side was the 1 seed in that situation. Salem was the second. Woodward was the third. And Henry County ended up rolling into the fourth and playing. And making it in there as well. And actually, for those people that don't know, Henry County no longer exists. It'll be known now as McDonough Warhawks.
I heard they're keeping the mascot and colors.
They are. It definitely looks nice in that sense, just kind of a different view, and they'll be transitioning over to their new high school this year. From a game perspective-wise, I think you can still get a lot of things from, and you got to be able to want to work here in the third and fourth quarter. Young pups are going to play, and to be able to do that, it's very interesting to see a little bit more about Salem. They're going to open up this year. As I'm rolling everything, making sure I look at certain things. Coach, you can go ahead and start calling on that part. We won't be able to use the breakdown anymore, don't ask. So we can just kind of sit back and enjoy the game itself.
Looks like they got the starting groups back in, both sides.
And that's always interesting to see where they are coming out of halftime. It's a good visual to look at it. They're going to open the season against Heritage, Coach Johnson Heritage, the Patriots. And they're going to be playing them August 23rd, their first game of the season.
Motion to trips, quarterback drops. My goodness.
And that's
number 21 from his linebacker spot
just flew in.
I mean, just unmolested right there.
Yes.
And that kid is Ronald Graves, and he's had a pretty good game defensively. And that's one of the other things is, you're watching these guys, and I don't see the same people on offense and defense, and that's an important thing. Those guys to really be able to rest. There's a snap and a
just
give.
Trying to find a place to go at this point.
And they are just flying to the football.
And that says a lot in the sense of the intensity that they're looking for from a Rams perspective going into 2019.
This is a double whistle practice team. And what I mean by that is at practice, when the first whistle blows, then there's a a second whistle, a third whistle, and a fourth whistle. And if you're not to the ball, then everybody's doing up downs.
Right.
Because those cats fly to the ball. There's a slot out to the right side. Quarterback tries to come back to his left, like a little quick screen, and I mean, just nothing.
No, he jumped up and almost to the point should have even caught the ball at that point. It was good effort on his end.
Well, guys always think they can do something with it.
Oh yeah, and you hope that you can. And that's going to be changeover on downs here. Fourth down, they're going to punt. Start of the third quarter here. We won't have a score running at this point. The score is definitely not the issue at this point. Right now, you're hoping that you can kind of grow. We're over here in Salem High School, over in Newton County, correct? Or
Rockdale.
Rockdale, thank you. Appreciate my brain.
I only know this because I was at Rockdale for a little while.
Right, right.
The Conyers Cup.
Yes.
And there's a one hopper. Good job feeling the snap by the punter. Gets off a pretty good one. Gets a decent roll. And is going to put the Newton Rams back on their half. And that's a plus. I mean, they didn't flip the field, but you know, it's so funny how important kickers are. We were talking about it earlier. You know, the last several years I've been real lucky. I've had a set of brothers that have come through, and I've got the youngest of the three now.
Okay.
Who's come out and has just figured out how to kick off. He's a goalie, so he's a punter.
Right.
But he's finally figured out how to kick off. His brother, I think, will probably be kicking it at Georgia State next year.
Okay. Newton will play their first game of the season against the Alcovey Tigers on August 23rd as well.
Now that's
good.
I really thought they had something right there. I was like,
Salem,
man, that's what they need to do right there. Now.
Salem came out and then couldn't hold on to him, man. He was quick. He was definitely quick.
But that's it. You can see how wiry even the small guys for Newton are. You know, a lot of this is you know, when I watch these Newton guys play, it's a lot of weight room.
I would agree.
There's snap, give around the left side. And he's close to a first down. Got to be just short.
Well, we do appreciate you joining in with us tonight. I'm Bo McMichael with Adam Collins, Score 58 Network, bringing you Salem versus Newton scrimmage, 1 of 3 this week. We get to see Holy Innocents on Thursday, and then get to go see Roswell take on North Forsyth, the Raiders. So it should be a lot of fun.
Line up. There's a snap. A little spin out. Looked like a little single wing action right there. Way the quarterback was spinning around.
Yeah, definitely trying to figure out new things for them to look at right now, mainly because they're going to take a break here. Very interesting when you think about football. And when spring's over with, it's really not over with because, I mean, you're going straight into defensive camps in the summer and 7-on-7.
Summer has really changed.
It really has over the past, I would say, 5 years more than anything.
There's a snap. It's real trouble with the snap right there. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage. Still, with the exception of 44 on the defensive line for Salem, I mean, it really just looks like that the sway definitely goes towards Newton.
It does. You know, and I don't really want to go into the whole classification type conversation and go through all that part. It's just interesting to see two teams playing each other here in the spring, and that's what you want to do is kind of compete at this point.
Doubles, quarterback drops, throws down the middle, and it's a 15-car pileup right there.
Everybody jumping into each other. And in the state of Georgia this year, you know, the old rumor, there's been 91 changes in coaches. 91 positions.
Jeez.
In GHSA alone. And that's just crazy. And I've been able to experience a lot of it just based on what I've seen and in this particular area and seeing the different ones come on. So it's been very interesting this year, especially an off-season perspective. Newton with the ball, Salem on defense.
Rough snap right there. Lots of pressure. Going to run him out. Hopefully they're not going to flag him. Drop the stick, please. Drop the stick.
Don't need to hold on to the stick.
No.
It's not going to do us any good.
I'd have been over there, drop a stick. Because all you need is somebody to get hurt hitting the stick.
Right.
But, yet again, that's the second time Salem's held.
Right.
That's a good sign. That says something about your team.
Coming out of the second half.
Yeah, I mean, you come out with some fight in you. Because it's so easy to give up. And in the society we live in today where it says if you tried hard, that's good enough.
Right.
And,
Pat you on the back, moving on.
Everybody deserves a trophy. This world we live in right now, and you're trying to teach these kids something else. That if it doesn't work out for you, that means you got to work harder.
Right. Especially in this situation, we took off the score mainly because it was 35-0. There's no need to show that, especially in a spring scrimmage when you're trying to get better.
That's a good punt.
All the way down to about the 15-yard line. Once again, we'll have some action kicking in next on Thursday night, 7 o'clock. Holy Innocents taking on Fellowship Christian. We'll be bringing that game to you live on Score 58. And then on Friday, you're raising your hand like you're
Holy Innocents. I'm trying to think of
North Atlanta. They're the Bears, the Golden Bears. The Bears. I wonder how many times I'm going to say that.
Okay, who wears green? Who is that?
Oh, that's Westland. The Wolves.
No. It's one of the private schools.
You're stumped on a Tuesday. Little motion action. Ball's on the ground.
No,
and
come on.
Picks it up. Give him
That
7.
dumb. Great job.
Defensively wise.
Heads up on defense.
Yeah, hands down.
You got to love it when the defense scores. I mean, your defense is scoring, you're going to win a lot of football games.
You are, And once again, this is a spring game that's supposed to take place on
Blessed
Friday.
Trinity. That's what
That's who you're thinking. Blessed. Yes, good call with the green. Yes, but no, Holy Innocents, the Golden Bears.
I haven't seen a lot of them.
No.
I saw Fellowship play Elka a few years ago in the state championship. Should have won.
Right. You're still working through that.
Like, I really thought they were going to unseat them. And I was like, man.
I know. It was at 10 o'clock in the morning.
That's something else. Because they were playing a double wing team in a 3-man line and weren't sending people.
No.
And I was like, how's that going to work?
Yeah. It is a running clock, 5 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. I'm Bowman Michael with Adam Collins, bringing you Score 58 Network, a little GHSA high school Georgia football here in May. It's springtime, so that must mean it's football time. It's spring in the air. From my friends that live up on the Northeast, they got snow yesterday. I got some friends that live in Vermont and Maine. I could only see what the look on their face must have been wonderful to see snow trickling in. So
when did they do the turf field at Salem? Has it been a while?
It's probably maybe 3 years old, 3-4 years old tops. Yeah.
I mean, it's probably been 15 years since I coached in Rockdale County, and we played on grass back then.
Yeah, it definitely been a minute, Coach. Definitely on that part. Yeah. So most every field in except the main stadium in not Rockdale, but almost all Rockdale stadiums have turf at this point. Heritage.
'Cause I saw Heritage play Ola.
Heritage has
maybe
turf.
last year.
Yeah.
Or the year before, because my niece was a cheerleader.
Takes it to the outside. Good
Man,
hustle.
that's a great run.
Yes.
That's what you got to have right there.
And you pop up. You got to make sure you hold on to the ball to the end right there. Don't let the thing pop out.
The other person should get the ball is the referee.
Yes.
But that's a first down. That's what you need. And as a coach, when you know things have gone south, and right now things have really gone south.
Well,
you got to have things to build on.
You are, but I also look at it as from a spring perspective. You turn off the scoreboard and you have a little fun, and you're able to actually hit somebody else other than your own teammates.
Motion out to the right side. Quarterback, little option action. He's got some room. Nice job finishing the run.
Number 5.
Good job right there by number 5 for Salem. That is Xavier Utsi. But yeah, and that's one of the things we forget, and that's one of the things I always try to promote is sometimes we forget this is a really fun game to play.
Oh, it is. I mean, for a person that on my end and your end have played it for several years in our lives. Yeah, I would have pulled that. Just pull it. Block. We got a block. Offensive line, we need a block. This is little hard when you don't get the blocking taken care of, and they're bringing their horses too. Newton's not stop. They pin their ears back and they're going. They want to see.
Well, that's still their first group right there.
Right. They want to get a
Now,
tackle for a loss.
I think they're mixing.
I think they're coming in.
I think they're mixing and matching here.
But look at the amount of players on Newton's sideline. They got a lot of folks wearing those gray jerseys.
It's a bigger school.
It is.
I really like the uniform. Is that a Nike uniform?
The answer is no. I think it's Adidas. Could be. You're calling.
Oh, I do like Adidas.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of Adidas.
I know you are. So you got to get down.
Oh, goodness. He's doing his absolute best to make the most out of things and just, as a coach, I'm going to fall down,
Right.
fall down. Just fall.
And blow the whistle, things might be a little bit easier. Well, once again, this is a new venture here for Score 58. We're going to try to bring football to you in the fall, Tuesday through Saturday, if possible. We're all getting to the broadcasting world, and we're live here on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. As long as technology has us, we'll continue to kind of throw things your way.
Slot out to the right, sniffer back to his left, motion from right to left. Quarterback stands in the gun. There's a snap. Heat off both edges. I mean, that's when the pocket is collapsing from the edges, your tackles have got to move their feet. They're stuck in cement right there.
And there's not much you can do in that situation when that happens, right?
Offensive tackles when you're going against defensive end, especially nowadays, almost always a better athlete. You gotta be sound in your technique. If they're kick sliding right there and getting width and depth, what's the flag for? If they're getting width and depth right there, then that's much less of an issue. But they actually stopped their feet.
Right.
And, I used to always tell my guys, because I'm an old fat guy myself, is that you're not beat till you stop your feet. That's when it's over. As soon as you stop your feet, it's over. You're beat. And somebody's going to get hurt.
Right.
Because you stopped your feet.
Right. And I keep saying right just to agree with you, man. It's just one of those things.
It's like talking to my wife.
Right. Well, we look like we got the instant replay back up, so we're going to have a little fun with this and be able to break some plays down here in just a minute. So I'll get things rolling on my direction.
Is that a different quarterback or is that number 18?
Cannot see.
There's a snap. Give off
Yes,
the left side.
Oh, he going to bang his head on the goalpost. Look at the split right there.
My goodness, and that's another guy.
Yes. And the speed alone, based on that, it's very nice to say the least. Goodness gracious.
That was number 28. That's Jahan Wise. And, guys, if I'm messing up your name, it's because I'm trying to read Sanskrit.
Yes,
so.
That's all right. I gave you Braille, and that's all that matters. And you were like, no, I'll take the Sanskrit today, Bo. And I'm like, all right, fine, take the Sanskrit. All right.
I didn't know I was going to need to be able to read
Syrian
Aramaic.
We were what's up? We can do what we can. They're going to end the third quarter here. We're going to see the last part of the fourth quarter. We'll have a chance to kind of break down some plays if possible here going forward. Once again, I'm Bo McMichael with Score 58 Network. I got Adam Collins here, the athletic director of CCS. Nice cohort. Been knowing him for pretty much majority of my life, probably for maybe a minus 13 years, give or take, maybe 12.
Somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
That used to be a lot.
Yeah, I've been thinking 13 years, and it's outrageous, 30 and 40 at this point. So glad to have people with us here today, bringing a little bit of spring football action here. The Salem Knights, or the Salem Seminoles, I'm sorry, my brain's fried a little bit. Salem Seminoles versus the Newton Rams here on a Tuesday night. Somebody be like, hey, how's that happen on a Tuesday? Well, it's mainly because they were going to play on a Friday, and they got bumped to Tuesday. On Thursday, we'll be bringing you Fellowship Christian taking on the Holy Innocent Golden Bears. And on Friday, we have the North Forsyth Raiders taking on Roswell. What's Roswell's mascot? I got to learn
Hornets.
They're the Hornets?
I think so.
All right. This is the fourth quarter. We only have a limited time remaining. Glad for people to kind of join in and tune in with us. We will spend a little bit of time with you breaking down the plays. It's nice to have both teams out here. Score's really not an issue at this point. Newton Rams 7A, Salem Seminoles 4A ball club. Salem opens up against Heritage on the 23rd of August, where Newton opens up against
They
Alcovy.
open with Heritage?
They open with Heritage, yes.
Oh, that's tough because for those of you who don't know, if you've ever lived in Rockdale County or worked in Rockdale County, it's a little wackadoo. And I mean that in a nice way.
They didn't come off that way, though, buddy.
Here comes a jet. He's got a nice cut, really nice cut right there. I'd a way to turn it up and get what you can get.
Play number 25. We'll have a chance to look at that if they jump back on there here in a minute.
But what I mean by that is they are consumed with Rockdale County.
Yes.
And there's something called the Conyers Cup, and it's Salem, Rockdale, and Heritage. And if you beat the other two teams, then you win the cup.
Right.
And, that is the end-all, be-all of human existence there. I did not realize that until I worked there.
That,
yeah.
Right.
Give off the right side, and he is met at the line of scrimmage and is going nowhere.
Has it downloaded yet?
25, yes.
Yeah. Go ahead and bring that up. That is the play that just happened. Let's look at that real quick. What's the difference between the two in the sense that we had this particular play where it was not, they couldn't get around the corner.
Okay,
what happened?
This is the wrong one.
No, I want you to stay with this one here. We'll go back to it in just a minute. They're going to
what's the difference?
Yeah, we'll go to it in just a minute. I want to kind of break that part down here. Here's a live play here right now. 3rd down and about 11.
All right, there's a snap. Fakes the give. Nobody knew who was supposed to get that. Somebody zigged where they should have zagged on that one. You had two guys thinking they were getting the pass. Somebody's got a block right there.
Well, go back to
because it's a quick screen.
Go back to the first play.
I'll tell you what.
Click back to the two more. Go back one more.
Okay.
And you can see because they're going to punt here. It's 4th down. They might end up going for it. Talk to me about that cut that occurred right here with this player, and what made it more successful for them compared to the other play.
You're always taught that you're looking hash.
Oh, coach,
numbers,
man, they're going to go for it
sideline.
On 4th. They're going for it on 4th. All right.
There's a snap, fakes the give right there.
Yeah.
And the tackle just stood there and watched. I would be losing my mind.
Well, you did. You just lost your mind.
I would be going crazy.
I know.
Like his parents would be coming down there to get me because I would be.
The things you would say.
I would be unpleasant.
Unpleasant? That's a nice word. I like that you use the word unpleasant. That's good in that direction.
I try to never let critique be personal.
No.
But the lack of effort right there, in my opinion, is.
Well, you want to be. You don't want that to be the case right now.
But I will say, I say that I would be all up in his stuff. It is springtime.
Yes.
And where I come from, springtime is all rainbows and sunshine, because we're trying. A lot of times, we're trying to get guys to stay out and play, because in this day and age, we live in an age where parents are worried about concussion and parents are worried about little Johnny getting hurt, and it's just I don't consider myself or my friends of my age, exceptionally tough people, but things are different.
Yeah, it is.
And I used to always hear the older guys talk about how soft we were.
Oh, if I had to hear that one more time from coaches that coached us.
Yeah.
Definitely a different world in that situation.
But it does seem like things are getting progressively.
Well, but the intensity. We're talking 10 days of spring, and this is what you got out of it. And I think that it's what you take away with it. Offensively for Salem and defensively for Salem, and also with Newton, what you take away, and not the negative piece to it, but more or less, okay, what can we grow from this?
Young pup quarterback was in there, new running back. This looks like this might be the pups.
Yep, looks like and that's wonderful that they get a full quarter of play. Once again, on Thursday night, we'll be kicking off around 7 o'clock. If you're not playing a game on Thursday, tune in with us. Kind of get the word out. We'll be on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, bringing you Holy Innocents versus Fellowship on a Thursday night ball game. Should be a lot of fun. Very excited on that matter. And then Friday night, we're taking on North Forsyth Raiders versus the Roswell Hornets, based on Coach giving me that. That is the.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
I would agree with you on that part. I'm not going to disagree.
There's a snap. Quarterback gives. Look like he might have wanted to keep that one. That was not going anywhere. Good job by that young Seminole defense.
Looks like we finally got all our technical issues taken care of. This was a trial run of us kind of seeing what we can get ourselves into on Saturday nights. We have the opportunity to work with women's football throughout the country, and we've got that kind of fine-tuned down to a nice little atmosphere. So tune in with us on Saturday night this week, and you're going to see your very own Atlanta Phoenix taking on the Texas Elite Spartans.
Yikes.
High outside, ball 7.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
But, if you can get something going right here offensively now, if you're the Seminoles, hold them, get something going offensively, you end on a positive note.
Well,
even if it was with your young pups, you end on a positive note.
I like that they were able to get first downs against Newton. To begin with, it didn't look like that.
Right. I mean, it would. And that wasn't the slouches out there for Newton.
The one thing I'm coming away with this from Salem is we got to work on defense and tackling, and that's something sometimes very hard to come about just for 10 days of spring.
In my opinion, when I look at this game, and like where my emphasis would be, like I would probably go down. Even though the last few years I've had an offensive line coach and a defensive line coach, I would probably be down in those groups. I would be down in those segments during individual time because I want to get my hands on them. I want to see it.
Right.
Because that's where they're struggling the most, But big guys are becoming a thing that are really hard to find, I think, just about everywhere.
Well, probably most interesting is, they're going to kick a field goal here. Well, that'll be nice to see.
As opposed to a field silver?
Yes. A field platinum is a choice of mine. But, in many ways, you look at it in last person to come in.
Drafted.
Yes. I
what
appreciate
is this? 30?
It's 41 yards.
41, yeah.
41-yard field goal.
Snap, hold.
Gets a boot.
It's up, and it's good.
Give him 3. Great job. I'm very impressed with their kicking game here at Newton.
That's a weapon that Tymon's going to have to get better.
Yes.
Because he's waiting for the hold to be down before he moves.
Yes.
Yeah, they're going to play people that are coming screaming off the edge, and their kicker just got murdered.
Right. Yeah. What was the name of the Redskins kicker?
Somebody called 911 in the ambulance. It's
Nina.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the European ambulance.
Yes. Oh goodness, that was good. My sons are all about kid jokes right now. So it's knock knock.
Who's there?
Europe.
Europe who?
You're a poo. I'm not a poo. And it just goes on and on, man.
Good one.
Oh, all day long.
My kids tell me jokes. I can't even remember any of them, though.
No, we watch the different ones with bad dad jokes, who can make them laugh type thing. All right, here we go. Ranging down to the last series of the game here with the Salem and Newton. Got the young pups here.
It's a good-looking group.
It is. They're lined up. That's a plus.
There's a snap and a give. And he fights through the first set of tacklers, but is unable to beat the second wave there.
Newton just looks very big in many ways. So that's all I can say in that sense. Strong and big.
These are their young guys, and they all look
fast.
Pretty fast, yeah.
Like you want to kidnap a couple of them and take them somewhere and say, hey, this is a better place. Come over here.
A little trouble with the snap right there, and that's going to delay the handoff, and that's going to end that play by itself.
Well, one thing that I look at for both teams, and I speak about Salem mainly because of Newton's dominance today, but in many ways what you grow from this is you have a tight and a wide and an end zone angle that's being filmed tonight for this team, for both teams. So you hope that they are able to take that footage and say, okay, what we need to do to get better and what we need to do to perfect ourselves, because Newton wants to not be one and done in the playoffs this next year. Salem wants not to be one and done in the playoffs this year. They want to make a longer stride, and it's possible for both teams. Goodness gracious.
I mean, and it's not – even with this group, with Newton, it's not one guy where I go, okay, you got to block that guy.
Right.
If
everybody takes care of number 79, things are going to be fine.
Yeah, not. That's not the case.
It's like 47, 50, 48, bingo. So it's a lot.
I mean, there's guys out there lighting it up. And, again, whatever they're doing in the weight room in Newton County,
Keep doing it.
It's working.
Yep, keep doing it on that end. They're going to punt it away here.
But, to Coach Law's credit, his kids are still fighting. His kids haven't cashed it in.
No. 5 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. It is a running clock, so we'll be kind of squaring it down here as going on. Glad we've actually had no technical issues here in the second half. We had a couple things going on in the first. Glad we were able to
That's a pretty good boot.
Compared to where he was to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of technical stuff there.
Right.
He's taking too many steps.
But it's good. There are a lot of, sometimes in scrimmages, people choose not to do special teams, and you can't see the stuff on footage. And you want to be able to see it and kind of see it breaking down and figure out what's going on in that direction. So that's good. Overall-wise, I'm very happy that both teams decided to do special teams, extra points, kickoffs. They didn't do kickoff returns, but they did extra points and see what's going on.
Kickoffs are dangerous.
Oh, they are.
And if somebody gets hurt in a scrimmage, that's just extra dumb.
Well, the first, almost the second, third play of the game, we had an injury. So, and we missed the touchdown, go from there. So
they're missing the tackle.
Yeah. They'll get somebody out there.
Who's the left tackle? Where's Tyler Sands?
Yeah, raise your hand. Raise your hand. I'm coming in. I came in one time like that, running full speed.
Okay, you play tackle. I'll play guard.
Yeah.
And that's probably going to be a delay.
I was in college once, Coach.
No, they got 12.
An eligible man, they were overly excited. I come running in on an extra point team because they were missing somebody. They yelled for me to come in. That wasn't my job. I wasn't in there. I was taking a break. And I lost my footing. I was running full speed, took out the guard and the tackle. They must have watched that 7 times, thousands at the film study about what point did you realize that you had been feet overhead right there. So,
golly. And see, just trust his speed and just keeps going.
And it took it to the outside, and that was that. And that's young pup running. That is young pup running at that point.
But that's how you teach the jet. You teach them hash, numbers, sideline. And I tell those guys, I told them once, I've told them 1,000 times, trust your speed.
That and angles too. But you got to, that's why you do a pursuit drill, hands down. Because when you get caught in that situation, you've got to get to your angles to do that.
Well, he ate them ankles up like Pac-Man.
He did. Walk, 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 walk.
Yeah,
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, there's sometimes some people are too fast for angles.
That's the ball game, ladies and gentlemen. So that's going to end up this first telecast of a scrimmage game. We just wanted to throw this out there, let people kind of tune in and watch. Had your wife tune in. She was listening a little bit, making sure you were here. I think that's what it was. Just doing that on that part. So I keep getting a text from my wife that there's a dog on the front porch. So I can go figure out what that is.
Yeah, you got a dog, man.
I hear you. Well, I'm Bowman Michael with Adam Collins. This is Score 58 Network. We are going to bring you live football throughout the year in 2019. Very excited. It's a new venture for us here in the fall, so we'll make sure we get that to you. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy. We'll be live back here on Thursday night, 7 o'clock kickoff. Holy Innocent Golden Bears taking on the Fellowship Christian in their scrimmage, and then heading over on Friday night, North Forsyth Raiders taking on Roswell. Take care of yourselves. Be safe. Adam, thanks so much for joining me.
Oh, you bet.
All right. Be safe. See you on Thursday.